Okay, so what we are doing here, we are trying to explain the tension test. You can see this image. This is our specimen. We will apply tension on it. Using this dial gauge, we will measure the deformation. And we have load cell. You can see here, this big drum is our load cell, where you can read the load applied. Okay, so very briefly, after applying load, the finally it will fail like this. We will see. So this is the schematic. So here our original length is L naught, deformation is delta L by 2 one side, delta L by 2 other side. Original cross sectional area is A naught. Applied loads is P. So axial stress is P by A naught. Axial strain is delta L by L naught, original dimension. Now in test, what we do? We apply some force, measure delta L. So we apply some force, measure it. Increase the load, 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 measure it. That means our stress is increasing, strain is also increasing. So it is not that at a time we apply 10 kip load. Not like this. We go slowly. Apply some load, measure deformation. And when we apply some load, we can calculate the axial stress and calculate axial strain. So apply load, calculate this, calculate, measure this, calculate this. Apply load again, increase it, calculate axial stress, calculate axial strain. So this we plot. This plot is important. It is axial stress. This is axial strain. We plot a graph. Now for a mild steel or a ductile, other question, what is ductile? Ductile means it will show sufficient or significant amount of deformation. You can see it. That is called ductile. Say a rubber band is ductile. If you pull it, you can see that it is elongating, 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 and you can see the elongation. For glass, when glass breaks, it doesn't show any deformation. You're applying load, suddenly it will break without showing any deformation. So that is called brittle. So ductile versus brittle. Brittle means, say, if I use say glass, you can understand better. Ductile is steel, it is ductile. Or I can give you say rubber band. You can feel better. Rubber band is also ductile. It shows sufficient deformation. Okay, so maybe take a clean paper base. So axial stress, axial strain. So the curve is initially the curve will be linear. When I will increase my stress, strain will go linear. Then it will reach a peak. After going peak, it will come and then maybe come down, or then again it will start going up, and then it will again go down, and suddenly it will fail. This is failure. Suddenly it will fail. Now why the curve? You can see the initial portion is linear. Linear. I'm writing here linear. Okay, give a name. O A B C D E. I am giving a name so that we can talk better. So what is O and A? So the point A, again, and take a new color. So this point A, see this A, you can see it is linear. So, and we call this A is proportional limit. Proportional. What is proportional? That means if my sigma increases, epsilon increases. Proportional, linear. So it is called proportional limit. Then what is B? B is called yield point. Yield, say yield limit. Write everything in limit. Now what is this? See, at the beginning it is linear and then it becomes non-linear. So this portion is non-linear. Non-linear. And then reaches the point B. B is called yield limit. Also called elastic limit. Elastic limit. Now what is elastic limit? Elastic means if I remove load, it will come back to original position. So when it is at B, if I remove the load, so I'm going this way. If I remove the load, it will come back at my zero position. There will be no deformation. So up to B, if we apply load, it will go to B. Then if you remove the load, the deformation will come back to original position. That is called elastic limit. Full elastic, it will come back to original position. That is called elastic. Now you can see elastic has two components. One is linear, other is non-linear. So it has two components. Again, there is a guarantee you will get at least one question on this sketch figure. This figure is the most important figure in your civil engineering career. Now, I told a very big statement, but it is true. This figure or this sketch stress strain diagram of a ductile material or steel, mild steel. That is the most important sketch in your civil engineering career. If you do not understand this sketch, you have something problem or you will face problem. Or before facing problem, you will see it again in reinforced concrete design class, steel design class, wood design class, whatever design class you take in material, you must revise this figure again. But if you understand now, it's done and it's not so difficult. Okay, so initial portion is elastic. What is elastic? Elastic means if I remove the load, it will come back to original position. It can have a linear portion, can have a non-linear portion. Now, linear portion is called proportional limit. In linear portion, the slope is called modulus of elasticity. So E is, oh, I wrote another E here, so that might be confusing. Okay, name it F. Name it F. So this is E. E is called modulus of elasticity. Sometimes we call Young's modulus. Young's modulus. Why Young's modulus? Because scientist Young, he defined this term, so we call it Young's modulus. Okay, the slope. Now, if you're in if your FE exam, if the question asks what is Young's modulus, the answer is the slope of the stress strain curve in the linear portion or within proportional limit or initial slope. Initial slope means here, anywhere here. Initial portion is linear. So sometimes we call initial slope. So I'm writing the term here. Initial slope. Initial. So initial slope or slope within linear portion or slope within proportional limit, same thing. It is the slope. That slope is called Young's modulus. Very important parameter. Okay, then what is B? You understood. That is the elastic limit. After B, there will be permanent deformation. Say this portion sometimes linear, sometimes curved. Say a material C. What is C? C has actually no practical value. It's some another point. Now, if my material comes here and if I remove load, what will happen? My material will come back this way here, and this portion will be the permanent strain. That means permanent deformation. This portion will not back. There will be some permanent damage, And you can see at this point my strain was here. This portion is called elastic because this portion came back. This portion came back. So this portion is recovered elastic strain. This portion is called permanent strain, damage, permanent deformation. This will come back. After some, if we keep on increasing load, this portion is called strain hardening. Now what does strain hardening means? It means in plastic region, after reaching the yield, if the material can take more stress with more stress with more strain, that's called elastic hardening. The increase in curve upward is called strain hardening. This portion is called ultimate. The top one is called ultimate stress, and simply sometimes we call it strength. Simply strength. What is the strength of the material? The ultimate stress, the highest one, peak, that is called ultimate stress or ultimate strength or simply strength. After ultimate strength, still it can take some not the load, it will deform a lot. This portion is called strain softening. Strain softening. And finally is failure or rupture. Different name. Somebody called failure, somebody called rupture. So you know what is strain softening, decrease in curve, strain hardening. Now another term is called necking. What is necking? I will define later. I can define now very quickly. So if I apply tension, my this middle portion, the cross sectional area will decrease, and then it will look like a neck, the decreased cross sectional area. So this necking we will see in this region. In this region we will see the necking after the ultimate before failure. Okay, so I think we covered most of the, yes, these are the parameter, you should know it. Something else, if I use a different color, the entire area is called toughness. The energy before failure is called toughness, or sometimes we call modulus of toughness. Entire area is called toughness. The total energy before failure is called toughness. The initial portion, the elastic portion, this area is called modulus of resilience. Modulus of resilience. It is the area in elastic portion. In elastic portion we call modulus of resilience. Entire area is called modulus of toughness. Okay, so yes, hopefully, yeah, this is the figure. I don't know what is the difficulty in this figure, why you do not understand. It's clear. Okay, so hopefully you understood it. Then what I will do, I will show you some video. So tension test at the beginning. Steel up to a temperature that's okay. Near the upper transformation range. Maybe we're not taking the dialogue, only the sample. You can see this is the specimen. We clamped the dial gauge here. You can see that the dial gauge. Using this dial gauge, we will measure the elongation. So if we go to second video, same thing. Still we are doing the test. You can see this. Yes, I was looking for this. So we will apply load, and this dial gauge is very old system. Nowadays everything is digital, you can read it, or even more advanced, the computer will give you the data. You can see the data in the computer, you can see the graph in the computer, everything in the computer will give you. This is the old system, about 100 years old. This machine is about 100 years old, but it is very good to understand, because if it is a new machine digital, you cannot see anything. Here you can see. So if you apply load, these dial gauge will give you the load, and this one will give you the deformation. That is it. Now we do not use this dial gauge, it has another purpose. So this will give you load, this will give you the deformation, and they are continuing. Say somebody is reading it.
It is, but it's graduated in pounds of force, not pounds per square inch.
Okay, if I see the dialog, then I have to explain it. But again, this is giving you the load. The dial gauge is giving you the what is that? The deformation. Okay, next one. Yeah, this test takes about few minutes. Maybe you cannot see here. See now, you cannot see in this video. Okay, maybe next one. So I'll just show you that, yeah, this leg will move. It is still not clean. Now maybe they did not. You can see now the leg moved. That means the deformation is coming. You can see. Now you can see that they are applying the load and the deformation is increasing. See, this dial gauge is moving, and we will read it after a few intervals, whatever is easier for us. But nowadays everything is given by computer. You cannot see anything. Computer will give you all the data, load, deformation. You can see it is increasing because the load is increasing. See, okay, next figure. This figure is very important. You will see the necking. See, watch carefully. This portion is, you can see the dial gauge is moving, and this is after the yield point in plastic region. If I go a little bit faster, you can see now the cross-sectional area starts decreasing. You can see it now. Now what he is doing, he's changing the dial gauge. The reason is this dial gauge might break. He will record the data in different way, the other dial gauge. Now what is happening here? He is measuring the deformation from this dial gauge now. You can see this is called necking. The cross-sectional area decreases before failure. Dramatically you can see it, and it looks like a necking. Okay, then now what's this portion?
0.45 and 0.5. So we were, I don't know, we probably lost track.
So we're at 5.
I had this zeroed when that one was zeroed.
Okay, so we're at 6 now.
See, almost failure.
Okay.
So this is the failure, yeah. So before failure, it gave you sufficient time to record the data, to see the elongation. This is it is called a ductile material. Okay, so you saw the failure, and next what that is
Actually,
they are doing? They are measuring the final diameter to calculate the percent decrease in area, increase in length. So they are measuring that final diameter. You can see they are measuring the final diameter.
7.35.
Yes, so you can see the sample here, and they are taking all the dimension. That means what is the total elongation, total decrease in diameter. So we will measure it. Now whatever I showed you, we will do it in our laboratory. But before doing it, make sure that you understood this graph. It is the stress strain graph of a ductile material. Here we did a mild steel.